BBA, Burton Academy is where I was the director of success, and you were one of the students that were involved. Um, what do you think landed you in the success program? What was it about your like childhood that had you feeling like you needed a little extra support?
Yeah, so I don't know. I was just the type of kid that never really liked school. Like I tested good, got good class grades and whatever, despised homework, kind of thought it was like a little bit of a gaff that I should have to come to this building for 8 hours a day, a working day, and then go home. And if I don't do the stuff that I'm supposed to do, I fail, and then it's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know. Just kind of like that. I just always felt annoyed, maybe not like just struggling, but yeah, just very annoyed by the schooling system in general.
Yeah. I mean, I know you're not necessarily diagnosed, as you said, maybe you're against some of those labels or other things like that, but do you think that you are neurodivergent? What are some of the struggles you had?
I have a hard time paying attention to things I don't want to pay attention to.
Yeah.
If I'm passionate about something, like it's that till the end. It's
Hyper focus.
sure, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. And anxiety, do you struggle with that?
Yeah, that's always been, kind of on the back burner. It's just like kind of something you throw on, a little function you throw onto everything else. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just a little extra challenge, huh?
Right.
Yeah. What do you think are some of the precipitating factors that caused you to be an anxious person?
Just being different, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Growing up different, maybe not really understanding how to communicate with like different kinds of people, I guess.
Yeah.
And just again, like, yeah, just having a hard time like dealing with things that annoy me, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and you had some seriously adverse childhood experiences. I don't want to dwell on it too much, but you were pretty much raised by a single mom. When did you lose your dad?
I was young, man. I never knew him. I was less
Never
than
knew your
2 years
dad.
old.
Yeah, so you really were raised by a single mom your whole life.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and she's a wonderful person, and she's really put so much love into you and your sister. Being raised in that way, where you didn't necessarily fit the mold, and school was a challenge for you. How did you end up even wanting to go to college? Like, explain that to me, because it's kind of counterintuitive, right?
Yeah. Let me tell you, bro. I didn't want to go to college. I never wanted to go to college. I remember actually talking with you in your little like side office downstairs in Riley. Like it was like a forlorn arts room type of thing.
Yes,
It was like
totally.
right when Billy came, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just trying to get like my high school degree. Like if we can do that, that's awesome. But like college,
Yeah.
that was never ever in the plan. That was just a crazy thing that happened to happen.
Yeah. But it didn't just happen, right? Like you got a full ride to a
Sure.
good college. And so tonight's conversation, by the way, both Mom and Lex say hi. They're both present, and they said what's up in the chat. So hi guys, thank you so much for joining us and for letting me dig in a little bit here on your family and asking some questions. But the topic for tonight is motivation. And that's a heavy word. And for someone that struggles with anxiety, I've got anxiety myself, or ADD, it can be really hard to motivate. And you had these like ups and downs. We offered you all sorts of alternatives, and some of them you took, some of them you didn't. And also, you graduated in 22, so that means that you went through the dreaded COVID gap where all life
Yes.
stopped. You
Sophomore
know,
year. Yup.
yeah, man.
Sophomore year.
Like, what a talk about like a hill to climb. Like you had all those different things stacked against you. Where did you find the motivation? Was it like just pure like obligation to your mom to like finish what you started, or is there another form of motivation that you think that you tapped into
Are you meaning in terms of high school or college?
in terms of keep going, right? Like in terms of like not just, I mean, even though you look like you live in a van out in the woods, like, you didn't. Although you did for Croca, and we'll talk about that in Mountain Campus a little bit too. But yeah, how did you keep pushing?
Let me tell you, bro, you really almost hit the nail on the head. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of it is having a single mom. really all I've known is like go and get it. If you don't, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
uh,
So stopping wasn't an
don't
option.
let people waste your time type of thing.
Yeah.
Be
But yet
nice, of
school
course.
like was a waste of time, like in your mind, a lot of school, and I don't doubt it. I'm not like arguing that point at all. I also feel like homework is in a lot of ways redundant and we would rather our kids be doing useful things with their lives. And if you were a good teacher, you pretty much can cover what you want to cover during the school day. And, you know, and then the rest of it, like you want kids working, you want them doing extracurriculars, you want them doing things that are real in life. So
100%. And I will say, once that it gets to a point, right? Because I grew up, so it can only go so far of like, oh, okay, I want to do good because my mom's single mom, whatever. After that, it's kind of like, I feel like if you don't have a real passion or like a real belief in something, you might kind of falter off the path. You know what I mean?
yes, and I think that's the motivation. I think that's what it is. I think like to
Exactly.
me, the motivation is like to do the thing that you're passionate about. So how did you discover uh sustainable ag as something that meant so much to you? And we could talk about what you're doing with that now later, but like how did that passion arise? And then how did you decide to go all in on it?
Yeah, so that gets kind of tough, right? Because what I'm into isn't really sustainable agriculture. What I'm into
Yes.
is cannabis horticulture.
Thank you for
Just
being straight up about it.
yeah, and I know this is for like kids and whatnot. I'm a
But
farmer,
whatever.
It's no different than any other plant. But yeah, I met this cool old grower. He was a really nice guy. He was a nice guy. He liked to teach and he liked to give, and he just wanted to see other people be happy, enjoying a
Here
passion that he
locally,
cared about.
you met that guy locally here, like in like Southern Vermont, or you're saying like you met him
Yeah,
upstream?
Southern Vermont. Yeah.
Yeah. And
And yeah, I mean, that was just kind of the first guy, I guess, to really instill that passion in me specifically for growing. Up until that point, obviously, I had experimented with cannabis, and that had helped like with my anxiety and maybe annoyance with the
yeah,
school system.
yeah.
But that was my first lick of like nurturing. Taking care of something, you got to take care of it, and whatever. It's like you give it love, it kind of loves you back a little bit, type of
Yeah,
thing.
totally. And yet, like, you know, you didn't have to go to college to do that, right? Like, I'd imagine the majority of the guys that you're out there in the field with probably didn't go to college, right?
It's always the joke. Yeah, I have to tell. I got to give them a story or whatever.
But you don't regret it, do you? Going to college?
Oh no, I think for what it was, I learned a lot, and I'm lucky that I got to go where I went. It just would have never been in my deck of cards. I would have never chosen that card.
Yeah. So how did you end up there?
I went to Croca because of you.
Yeah. Well, okay. So tell everyone what Croca is in case people are not fully aware.
Sure, Croca is like I think they like to call it an outdoor consciousness like adventure program. It's pretty much you spend 5 months in the woods walking around talking about climate change, environmentalism, sustainability, and how to take practical action to defend the earth and stuff like that. And you just build bonds with these people, and pretty much you get to the point where you don't have to worry about yourself at all because somebody else there next to you is doing the thing you're worried about for you.
Wow.
It goes on.
Right. So you had gone to the mountain campus,
Yes, yep.
and I think that was one of the only times that you showed up to school every day with a good attitude. Like
That
that was,
was one of the only times I like passed all my classes. Yeah.
yep. Right. Like you were like, and so I think I remember saying to you, like, we gotta get you to graduate. We gotta get you to the end of the line here. And it was not easy. You know,
No.
school avoidance was a real thing. It was a real challenge and work avoidance and all that kind of stuff because of things that were out of your control. And we offered you some alternatives, like, you know, going to like our Target program, which is a small setting, and your sister thrived there. That was a great environment for her. So
Right.
not a knock on Target, but it wasn't a fit for you because it was still school, right? It was still sitting in a room and learning. So
I'll just be in a building over there. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
another building doing work I don't want to do, right?
Exactly.
So we decided to lean into that passion that you felt at the mountain campus. And
And you saw that, man. You were the first one to really see that because you looked at my grades and my attendance and all that, and you talked with Andy, and it was like, oh wow, this is the first time I've seen this kid like not just look like he wants to leave.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that's what, like, you know me, like everything I do comes down to the individual. Everything I do comes to building that relationship with the individual. And then like I don't have any set plan for what success looks like. What success looks like is this, is you being happy and you saying, you know, like life can get better, right? Like you don't have to like always be anxious, but you have to try. And that's the thing. Like I remember even like our graduation trip, we went to Florida, right?
Dude,
Yeah,
that was 2 days after I got back from
I
Croakia. Two
know.
days after being in the woods for five
Yeah, man,
fucking
that's when I
months.
really first started calling you Mountain Man too, because I hadn't seen you in the whole semester, and you came back from Croca, and I was just like, oh man, look at the Mountain Man, look at him, you know. But and I remember you being so quiet because you had spent all this time like being in the woods, and all of a sudden you're around all your peers,
Yeah,
and you weren't like disrespectful, but you were just kind of on the back, like just, you know, to yourself. But I do remember having some conversations on that trip, on that senior trip. Like, what are you gonna do next, man? Like, what's gonna happen? Like, now what? And I remember you telling me that you had turned the corner and wanted to go to college, and I just was like floored by it. So like, what happened at Croca? Go back to that conversation. What so you found a passion, you found an interest, you wanted more of that. You followed your interest and your passion, which allowed you to be motivated to continue to more, right? But then you went to college and yes, Sterling is a special place and RIP to Sterling. What happened there?
dude, that is a whole separate podcast or whatever you
Okay.
call
All
this.
right.
It
All
was
right.
you can,
Let's not do
yeah,
it right now. All right.
no.
So great college, great environment. I'm sad that they've closed. Um, and I mean, that was a place that I recommended a lot of kids to look at because it was this really special, small environment. But yet, you still had to produce academic work there, didn't you?
Oh yes, yes. I just remember we were doing our stretching and our endocrinal stuff one time, and he told me about the van life method. It's like, all right, the van life method. What's up with that? He said it's like choose the top three things that make you happy, and then like choose one of them that's going to be your job pretty much because you have to work. You can't be on this earth and not work. Like it sucks, but you just got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Not questioning it. I'm trying to understand. Like
yeah.
that was your driving passion was to produce this medicine.
Right, because I'd met that guy in Southern Vermont a little bit before, and whatever it was making me happy and shit. It's like, yeah, this is pretty cool. And then
Yeah.
what he said just really made sense to me. It's like, yeah, you're right, bro. Like doing stuff does kind of suck, but you kind of have to do it if you want to live on Earth. So I guess I got
Yeah.
to choose something.
And that's what this work is for me, right? Like this work for me is the same thing. It's what is my gift to the world? It's helping people. It's building culture and connection and helping all the Alexes of the world find their love of their thing, you know? I have a parent I was talking to who has a daughter who's having like pretty severe school avoidance going on. And she's basically gonna have to repeat her freshman year. And and it's rough. I feel for the mom and I feel for the kid both, you know. But I talked to the mom. I'm like, we got to focus on the thing that's gonna ignite a fire in her. And this girl also loves theater, and I'm trying to talk to the mom and saying, yes, your kid needs an education. Yes, we have to get her back to school. Like I'm not questioning that. And the first step is not to force her into school. The first step is to force her into herself, is to say, okay, what does motivate you? And then how do you tap into that motivation to go further? Everyone's got something, man. Everything's got something that makes them
Something.
tick, you know? Most people are afraid of that thing though, because they're afraid that they're not good enough for that thing.
And if you fail that thing, who knows what the other thing is? Who knows if you
Right.
love anything else?
Right. So then, you know, some people might be like, all right, why even try? Because I'm just, you know, I'm not good enough. And that's where the anxiety comes in. And that's where
Yes.
like the short attention span all the time. I'm telling myself, am I good enough? I don't know. You know, I wonder that all the time. And people would look at me and be like, you're so self-assured, like you're cocky. Why, how could you doubt yourself? And I'm like, I'm a human too, you know, like I also have my anxieties. And that's why I love working with kids because I am one too. I can relate, you know, like I refuse to, I mean, I'm an adult, but I refuse to grow up in some ways. I want to continue to like yearn for big ideas and passions and all that, you know?